Good morning. Good morning. Everybody good?
Yeah.
I wasn't going to do a PowerPoint thing. Can somebody try to raise this up? Thank you, Matthew. That's good. I'm old. So older. Okay. Hey, did Cedric do an absolutely incredible job? Yeah. He really, truly did. I mean, we recorded, which I'm so happy for that. You know, I am, Dante, do want to plug up to this, and I want y'all to see my notes, and then you can get them a copy. You know, my bag is in the back. You got a thing? Okay. Yeah, but I'm gonna let you guys. I work for it today. I think I want to do that. Y'all okay with looking at my notes?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. They're a little bit discombobulated. I mean, I write absolutely terrible. I do.
Hoorah, Marines do it.
Sir?
Simplify, man.
Simplify.
Hoorah. Marines do it.
Marines do it. And I often have trouble reading my own handwriting. Oh yeah, really?
Dr. Whitner.
Yeah, I really do. So that happens. But I got some time to share with you guys today. I want to just talk about a couple things, and then of course I'm going to go through my notes and stuff with you. I do want to do that. So let me throw this out first, and we'll come back to that part because y'all might be trying to read this stuff. Right now, that might not be good. Somebody already said, I see you got something on it, naked and afraid. So, and we're going to talk about that too. It is a great show. You know, I've done Primerica now for a very long time. This is, let's see, November will be, I don't know what year, starting in 81. So that'd be 37?
Yeah, 37. That's right.
Yeah, so we're at 37 years of doing this. Been making 6 figures for 35, 7 figures since 2004, and 6 figures monthly since 2007.
Yes, Lord.
And so I've got somewhat a halfway decent understanding about how this thing, works in some fashion. I'm very fortunate that we've got some great people and a really great leadership team in our organization. If all the vice presidents, if you'll stand up, if you would, all the VPs, you'll stand up. Hey guys, you guys need to give them a big, huge round of applause. Our group said everything rises and falls on leadership. And leaders come and they develop and they go through different levels of how you develop and when you develop. And, some kids, I saw some lady with a little boy, 3 years old, still in Pampers. I saw him 6 months later, he was out of his Pampers. Now, I know Chevy, our daughter, I think she got out of Pampers probably about 11 or 12 months. So different people go different roles, but they both develop. Some people are going to develop fast, some develop slow. One of the keys is to stay in the game and stay engaged at this. I'm going to talk about what makes this work and why, if we don't do this for our community is dead. I mean, there's nothing for our community if we don't do it. And it's going to begin with these men and women who are here. What got me to the company was, I'd go to college like a lot of people did, believed in that concept. Now, I do believe in education. I just don't believe that you need a degree to become successful. I do believe in education, okay? And I do believe that language is a gift. It's an art. You need to learn to use it. Many people talk, but few people communicate. So you're going to learn the art of communication by working with these people. But a guy named Javier Gonzalez came to my office one day, and he didn't speak English real good, but he spoke enough to say, Sergeant Whitner, do you want to make some extra money? And I was intelligent enough to say yes. I was. A lot of people we talk to are not intelligent enough to say yes, and they broke. But see, I knew I was broke. I mean, I recognized I was broke. I'd always ran out of money 3 to 5 days before every payday. I was out of money. I was frustrated. I said, this is stupid. I'm defending the American dream and living a damn financial nightmare. This made no sense to me. So he offered it to me. I said, yes. I'm still here. He quit 90 days later. So some of the folks that you're sitting around, I ain't gonna be here at the next meeting. Okay, so don't get your feelings hurt. Okay? Some people quit church and they go join another one, and sometimes they come back, and sometimes they lost souls until they get on their deathbed and they praying to God. Yeah. That they find God, you know, the Jesus again, right? The gospel. Okay? So I'm not judging people. I'm not judging people. I just know that for people like us, there's not a better place to go and build a business and have a chance, again, a chance to become financially independent than here at Primerica. So, with the time that I have, and I don't know how much that is, but with the time that I have, how much time do I have right now? 30 minutes, okay. Who's going to be the timekeeper that's going to have the nerve to keep me focused?
Do your thing.
I like you, but you ain't. We were kind of having too, but you ain't got it all. But this has been a heck of an experience. I just turned 61 this week on Wednesday. And I grew up in a great community, you know, St. Louis and Pacific and University City, and many of my classmates are here. And whether you came from U City High School, you came from Northwest, you came from Whitner, and whether you were conceived in the backseat of a Chevy, or you were conceived at a penthouse at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, or was at the drive-in that used to be over on, y'all know what I'm talking about? Okay? It doesn't matter is that we're all here, and you got to make some decisions of what you're going to do with this gift that we have called life. What are you going to do with this gift? And we've made some fundamental decisions about what we want to do with it, and that's to go do something great with it, and to be part of something great. And the only way you can do something great is to have great people around you. Art always said, you measure the success of a leader not by your income, but by the success of the people around you. Okay, and so we're very proud of all the folks that are here, that are new people making money, the people like the Ursulas and the Burns and Janice and all those folks that's been here forever that are making and saving money and truly working to become financially independent. Please write down on your paper that your number one mission in Primerica is to become financially independent. Is to become financially independent. All the training and information that you receive today is to help you to accomplish that goal. Cedric shared with you, and he shared this years ago, he talked about the great separator. The great separator is prospecting and setting appointments. Why? So you can give presentations, so you can generate income, and then eventually recruit, train, develop people, make an override income so you can save enough money to become financially independent. You want to get to the point, Art said, that you become bulletproof. That you're bulletproof, okay? When we were hanging around doing some stuff yesterday with Cedric, just the freedom of being able to walking through, you just have no idea what it's like to move through life. And life is like you got a warm knife and butter. You just slice your way through it. I never knew it would be this good. If I knew it was going to be this good, I would have worked a hell of a lot harder than I did. And we did work hard. Two of my nieces are here, Lucretia and Toria, they're here. They were here when we first got to St. Louis, and her mom was an administrator. She worked part-time. Unfortunately, she passed away, but she was a client of ours, and they had just a little policy because of her uncle, which is Mike, my brother. You know, they were covered properly, made a big difference for family. But today, they're here today in business, you know, to come do this, but they saw this thing develop. They saw it from the beginning, okay? And Toya was saying, you know, why, people asked her, why didn't you do it younger? She said, my timing wasn't right. And it might not have been. See, I don't know if somebody approached me when I was 18, I don't know if I've been ready for Primerica. I mean, I don't know. I had other things going on, right? I was just learning how to drive a car and get off a bike. And then you start to get freedom and you get moving. So I don't know, but at 23, the time was right for us. So let me go through and start to hit the specifics of what I want to share with you guys as we go through. Did it pop up on the screen? Is there something you got to do? Okay. One of the first things that's important that's on this screen here is in this box right here. Okay, and that's our website. Okay, our website is called 12 Mighty Oaks. And in the 12 Mighty Oaks website is a plethora of information. It's 37 years of my experience and many of the great leaders. The information's out there to give you as a resource to help you to build a business. Just because it doesn't cost you nothing doesn't mean that it doesn't have great value. So my family and I, we pay for it, we support it, we hire the people to maintain it, but it's a plethora of information that's out there for you. So I would suggest to you that you go use this as a resource to help you. One of the things that we're doing, you see this device that's here right now, that little black thing that looks like some alien coming down. It's a device that we found because the hierarchy is vast. Again, we're in 38 states, all the way from Guam, all the way to Virginia, New York, Florida, 3,024 licensed agents, 82 or 84 vice presidents. It's a fairly vast organization. It is difficult to pick up the phone and call each of you every day. You can't do it, it's just absolutely impossible. So the best way to do it is to use a resource which I call technology. And the key to technology allows you to get a better value for your time, to increase the value of it. So if you decided to, people that are remote, you can go to 12 Mighty Oaks right now, enter PRCP2. Okay, some of y'all can do that. Go to enter and go to PRCP2, and then hit a button out there called Win Live, WIN Live. And anywhere that we're on the country, we can go live from anywhere actually in the world and broadcast what's going on. So when we're sitting having a meeting after meeting, let's say we get Sam Shepard or we get Ivan or Mike Evans, we're sitting talking. I'm saying, hey guys, I put out on the group meeting to the RVPs and I send it to my base, and then RVPs distribute if they want you to hear it. And then all you have to do is go to the website, click on it, and you can hear this live. Like when I was out in California visiting with Gary Cornegay, you could go plug in and listen to this live, and it was like I was broadcasting you, right? It was out to everybody in the hierarchy, right, that plugged in. So it's available. Then it automatically archives into our website, and we do it in a compliant way because it's behind the shield of our website, which is password protected. Under private, this is way past it. These smart people do this crap. But it's done in a way so it's compliant, but allows you to get information. That's good, especially if you got people that are remote. With the amount of travel stuff that we're doing, this is going to make sense. So you got that available. Let me go through and start talking about what it is that we want to go do. How much time do I have? About 20?
Yes.
I'm saying that. Can we get my new damn timekeeper up here? Get my new timekeeper. And give me some water and get her some vodka. She got to lighten up a little bit, okay? But the process of doing the business, I do believe, not geek out of sense. For America, there's more than one way to skin the cat. There's a lot of ways to become successful. Okay, thank you, Matthew. What we do believe in the basic 10 fundamentals or 7 basic systems, And we built 5 tools to support that. I don't know if I'm gonna go through all the specifics. As Cedric did, he did a great job with it, I agree, but I believe there's a total of 10 in how we look at it. First thing I want to talk about is this show up here. It's called Naked and Afraid. It's a TV show. It's out there. And it's an excellent show. Because what they do, they take a man from someplace in the United States and take a woman from another part of the United States, and they don't know each other, never met each other. They weren't Facebook friends or nothing. And they might take them down to Guatemala. And they'll go put them out in the jungle someplace. And he arrives in one vehicle, she arrives in another vehicle. Then they step out the vehicle, they take off all their clothes. Yes. Okay, so they're going to take off all their clothes, and they give them a few basic tools, maybe a knife, they get a couple of things, and then they go meet for the first time in a field someplace. They both meet, you look astonished. Your wife just looked like, oh. So, it's okay. And then they meet for the first time, and then what they've got to go do is learn to live off the land for 21 days. If they do 21 days, then they won the quest. I don't think they get nothing. Maybe a t-shirt, I don't know. I don't know what they get. It ain't no money. It ain't like you win $1 million. They just did it, okay? So they have to learn to live off the land for 21 days. Well, this is important. It's an important lesson. So when they go through this process, when you look down here, there's 4 basic things that they have to get figured out if they want to survive. If they don't do it, they let them tap out. But in real life, life will tap you out. They will die and they will become fertilizer, because that's the only reason that stuff is green in the forest. You got fertilizer from something that died. So the first thing I'm talking about that they got to get is food. And that food has to include protein. They got to figure out how to get food, including protein. Sometimes they got to go get some worms. They got to go get some grubs, right? I mean, look, all of a sudden, when you ain't eating 3 or 4 days, worms look pretty good. You don't believe me? Watch the show, right? They'll go get a rat. They'll get whatever. Hey, look, rules change when you put in tough positions. Yes, sir. See, the reason a lot of you guys ain't become successful yet is that you haven't experienced a change of rules yet. See? You don't fear that the sheriff will come take your crap and put it on the curb if you don't play it. See, they got a rule. If you don't pay your rent or your mortgage, the sheriff will come get you. And all they do is take your stuff, put it on the curb, and then all your neighbors go shopping. Y'all watch this for me. I'm going to go get a trailer. Okay. I've seen it happen to people. Okay, so you got to figure out food, including protein. The second thing you got to do is you got to get water. And you got to have a way that water is clean already, or you got to find a way to clean the water. Because if you don't, you get dysentery, you start throwing up, you get diarrhea, you dehydrate, and it can kill you too with parasites. The third thing that's important, you got to get shelter. You got to have shelter. You got to be able to protect yourself from the elements. And then the fourth thing is this concept called fire. You got to have fire. Because if you don't have fire, guess what? You ain't going to make it either. At night, you have no way to fence off the predators. See, you think you're a human being. You think you're at the top of the food chain till it gets late at night. Then all the other creatures are going to let you know, hey, 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 I don't know if that's pork chops, but it's still showing up some chops over there. So you start looking good to all the animals. Even the ants. Look, the ants will eat you up. Yes, sir. You don't believe me? Just watch some ants destroy something. So you have to have fire. Okay, in order to clean your water, to cook some of the food, because some food you don't cook it, it'll make you sick too. So you need fire. In order to make fire, you can take a stick and a stone and some real little bitty stuff. I mean, like paper type stuff. You can shred a bark real thin. And if I'm making fire, if I'm doing it like this, so I'm making what? I'm making friction on it. Because you got to have friction. Friction creates what? Heat. And with heat, you can get fire. You can get an ember and get a fire. So if I'm doing it like this, will I ever get a fire? No. That's how some of you prospect. That's how some of you set appointments. And see, you wonder, why won't it go? Charles, I'm prospecting. I'm setting appointments. It doesn't work. Physics says it's impossible for it to work at that pace because you're not creating enough energy to create heat to get an ember. So like Sandra said, you got to do it. Okay? When you look at Primerica, I'm naked and afraid is one that's prospecting. You have to figure that out. 2, setting appointments. It's setting appointments and then tying people down. See, it's not just setting appointments, you got to learn to tie it down to make sure that it keeps. That's an art. Well, how do you get better at it? Keep working at it. That's the only way I know how to get better stuff is to keep working at it. The third thing is giving a winning presentation. Not a presentation. I have people go to Charles, I went out and gave 10 presentations, nobody bought. Well, obviously, only person thinks your presentation is good is your mama. And your mama lies to you. Don't y'all understand? Your mama lies to you. Oh, look, y'all ever see some of the artwork you brought home and your mama told you, look how beautiful it is. You wasn't no abstract artist, but that was your mama lying to you to protect your ego, to help you to keep feeling good, to keep working at it. Well, the marketplace is pure. The marketplace doesn't care what your mama thinks. The marketplace only responds to people who bring value to the market. So you have to give a winning presentation. Well, Charles, what's a winning presentation? When they move from the red corner to the blue corner and write you a check. Until then, you were simply entertainment tonight. The fourth, you have to learn to gather clients. You have to gather clients. You got to get people that do business with you so you generate upfront income. I don't know if I might have time to talk about part of it, but I do want to talk about that. Is understanding the need to generate income and why life insurance is a critical part of that. Okay, it's a critical part of it. Okay, so now that's the 2. That's naked and afraid, and that's Primerica. Now, once you got both of these figured out, if you got the naked and afraid part figured out, right? You know, you can survive out there in the world, right? Okay, and you got the Primerica stuff. That means now you're making money at this. But are you growing? No. You just figured out. You and that woman are just there. You and that man are just there. Well, what are you? Are you human or are you a machine? How long will you last? Forever? No, for a period of time. So if you want to grow a society, if the 21 days is over, you're stuck on that damn island. Right? As far as you know, this you and that other person of the opposite sex that you don't know, you just met. What must you do if you expect for your kind to survive? You must reproduce. You must come together and make the baby. In Primerica, you must learn to recruit, start, train, license, and develop leaders. You got to start to build first a family. Then you're going to build a community, then a city, then a society. That's what you got to go do. That's what happened. Didn't the earth start with Adam and Eve? Well, how many different countries is it now? How many languages are spoken? How many different versions of people do we look like? Right. But if you believe it all came from Adam and Eve. So these are necessary things that have to happen. It's important that you learn to make a living. And that's what the four fundamental things are over here with Primerica, is you learn to make a living. Life insurance, let me talk about that. Life insurance is important, and here's why it's important. I'm not going to talk about what we do for the community. You guys understand that. Life insurance is critical, because if you're going to start going to any business, you need working capital. Life insurance gives you working capital. You submit a $100 premium, they send $1,000. The math is stupid. How does that work? I send 100, you send 1,000. Any of you new people ever figure that out? Don't y'all think you're getting over on Primerica? Yeah, you do. I send in $100, they send me 1,000. I'm gonna break the bank. But you gotta have a way to fund. See, typically when you go into a business, like whoever built this business here, this building, they had a vision to it. They had to finance the building and build it before anyone paid lease. They had to get working capital, venture capital. Life insurance gives you the venture capital that you need to start and maintain your business while it's in its infancy. That's why life insurance is so important. That's why advances are so important in what we do. In the back end to prosper, we got to bring other facets to the business to the table, which we'll discuss. I want to talk about, down here at the bottom, there's 4 really business models in the world, but there's really 5, and we're the only one. We're the 5th, and we stand by ourselves. The 4th, because everybody here knows that if we want to make money, if we want to do well, we have got to go in business for ourselves. Everybody got that? Yeah. Right. In or out of Primerica, I got to do something. You know, Charlie's Chicken Shack, I mean, something. You know, Sam's Lawn Service. I mean, I got to do something, because having a job is not the way. Everybody knows that. Right. Okay? And whether it's Primerica, it doesn't matter. We know that. All the job allows us to do is to go to work to make somebody else's dream come true. They give us enough money so we can pay our basic existence, to give us the food, clothing, shelter, and fire, so we can come back and they can build their world, but not ours. Is this true or not true? Keep this up, Matthew. So when you look at the business models that are out there, the first one is a corporation. What's good about a corporation? Corporations provide stability. They provide substance, right? They provide credibility. The Primerica Corporation is a publicly traded corporation. That means that you've gone through a great deal of scrutiny to become a corporation. Then that corporation is traded on the New York Stock Exchange, which means that you can't just decide, me and Carletta are going to get together and we're going to open up a lemonade stand and we're going to incorporate it. We just can't do that, because the government says we're going to protect the public from anybody trading publicly that we haven't assured that they are credible and viable business. So when you join Primerica, you have the ability, you have the advantage of a corporation built in. Something as simple as a PHC form. When somebody wants to change banks, do you know what the lawyers have to do to make sure that when somebody decides, they say, well, they didn't draft the policy, but I sent the form in, Well, I did the form and my uncle died and they didn't pay because they said it lapsed, but it was because their form wasn't right. Do you know how many times people attempt to sue our company for stupid stuff like that? But because the lawyers drafted the form, it protects the corporation and us through lawsuit because it's done right. If you had to do that by yourself, do you know what it costs to get a lawyer to do all that stuff and make sure it works in all 50 states? And then you got to go register with the state. A simple form like a PAC, but because of the corporation. We don't have to pay for none of that. I mean, well, we don't pay for nothing. You guys just don't understand what it means to be part of this corporation, to be under the umbrella of the corporate image of Primerica, what it brings to us. The second thing, corporation, that brings tremendous finance. See, when you write that $100 sale, they pay out $1,000, somebody coughed up some money. So they got all the financing in place to pay for the advances. They set all that up with the banks. With the banks that y'all don't know about because they're not public. Come banks like Mellon Bank and all this other kind of crap, where they finance the advances through. You don't think Primerica holds that on their books, do you? Okay. So corporation is important. The second facet to business that we need that's available is a franchise. Franchise is the second business model in America. Why are franchises important? Because it's proven it's a turnkey system. McDonald's is a franchise. It's a turnkey system. The McDonald's franchise today costs $2 million. Now, it's not that you can't write the check for the $2 million. It's whether how high it might bounce. I'm just saying. Now, that business model, you put up $2 million, average make $150,000 per year per store. So when you want to grow your income, you need another $2 million. So another store, you got to put up another $2 million. Do you know what it costs to produce an RVP? Sweat equity. Just sweat equity. For every $100,000 your first generation RVP makes, the company pays you $50,000. That's great ROI. That's return on investment. The investment was sweat equity. A couple meals every now and then. And on late nights, we might stop and get a couple tacos together. But you have the beauty of a franchise. You have a proven system. We're a 42-year-old company. 42 damn years old. Proven system. Produce $1,500,000 earners every month. 3,600 currently. $6 million earners every year. 20 people change diamond levels every month. We have a proven system. That's when you buy a McDonald's or you buy a Subway, you're buying their system. So your system, all those men and women ask you to stand up, to plug into them. They're going to have, like on Columbus, they're going to have part of Columbus' personality in it and part of my personality in it. Just like I got part of my grandmama in me. I got part of my great-grandfather in them. That's how this works. The third is multi-level. People frown on multi-level. Why do you frown on multi-level? Don't frown on multi-level, be thankful. But we're going to take the best pieces out of it. Right, they don't understand. Multi-level allows people like you and me to go into business easy. Yes, sir. Even if you bought an expensive multi-level and paid $1,000 to join, and you got a box shipped to you, a kit, damn it, you're in business. You got your kit. But at least you're in business and you only had to put up $1,000. So multi-level allows regular people to enter into business relatively easy because you don't have to come up with a lot of money. Multi-level has another facet to it. It's called leverage. Your ability to generate income on the effort of other people. Most phenomenal concept in the world is leverage. Quit talking about I, and go we. This is a we business. This is a French damn business. Okay? Let me prove something to you.
Yeah.
The ability to recruit, train, and develop both direct and indirect. Who in this room was recruited directly by me? Please stand up. Nobody stood up? Baby, no. You weren't recruited by me. You were recruited by Sylvia. Okay. I'll give my classmate one. 1 out of 250. But every time anybody in this room does something, we get paid. That's because of multi-level concept. Art didn't invent multi-level concept. Amway did. Maybe Mary Kay did. He just took it to another level. He tied a product that has some real substance and it pays some daggum money. I operate my business out of a backpack. A backpack. And an iPad. And I keep a charger with me, which I call the beast. Because I don't ever want to go down. That's right. Got to move some money. Amazing. So multi-level, but allows you to go in, recruit, train, and develop, and generate income from a way we've never been taught to do it before. That's by leveraging people. We've all trained you before, but we never participated in the profit that they made the company. We spent all our time trying to impress Bob for a stupid-ass raise. Excuse me for cussing, but I needed to. Get my point across. Because we spent so much of our lives trying to impress Bob so you get a raise. So you get the little perks that you think is a perk.
Keep talking. There you go.
The fourth is entrepreneurship. See, there's nothing better than pure entrepreneurship. That's what makes America what it is. That you can come here and you can be an entrepreneur. You can bring your own spirit, your own energy to the table, and you can go be somebody here. The American dream is to own your own home, own your own business, and become financially independent. Now, as much as you don't like it or not, Donald Trump is a hell of an entrepreneur. He's a hell of a salesman. He pulled, in my opinion, the biggest con in the history of the world. He is the president of the United States. Despite all the crap that we believe he's done, he is the president. He's a real entrepreneur. Well, here's what I got to tell you. Primerica is the fifth model. And what we've done here is taken the best of all of those top four and built it into one. And even though you've only paid $124 to participate for your shot, it's worth paying millions. And the reason that most of you guys won't go kill this, and you're not killing it, like the Loves they're doing 14 districts. Wow. Incredible. Not 14 recruits, 14 districts.
That's it.
Override that dude. I'm not jealous. I override. I'm not envious. I override. Now, if he was on Mike Evans' team, I said, damn, why did we get that guy? Now, I love Mike. Mike's my brother. But I don't override Mike. What a heck of a company. So we get the best of all worlds built into one. And see, even though we only paid $124, you should act like you put up $100,000. See, if you put up $100,000 to open up your Subway shack, but somebody Google for me Cost of an average Subway franchise. Somebody Google it for me real quickly. Subway franchise cost. 250,000, you're about right. 250,000, take the number, that is it, okay? And you only make 60 grand a year per Subway. Don't, look, you know what you're doing in the morning at 4 o'clock? Cutting bologna. and lettuce and the tomatoes and cutting the bad part out the tomato. You think I'm lying to you? Only put 2 pickles on that sandwich, son. Don't put 3 too. Because your margins are going to be off. You ain't going to make that 60 grand. You're going to be there from sun up to sundown because you put up 250,000 and you only net 60. An RVP pays an average of 115 grand a year. But you won't kill it. Most of you are not killing it because you only put up $124. And you don't understand the value of that $124. When I got in, I put up $150. To me, it was $1 million because I was broke and I had to pay my money in pieces. I could not afford to write the check for $150 and it clear. I paid 50, 50, and 50. That's how I got started. So, you know, I don't know what you guys want to do with your business. I don't know what you want with your life. I just know I don't know a better place for people like you and people like me to have a shot, because that's all this is. This is just a shot to go do something great. It's hard to explain to you. Oh, if only I knew. Y'all should one day go to the store with me and my kids. You should try it one day. It's interesting how we do crap. But that's just all we know. We don't know any different. You know, people teach me, you know, Chad's just weird, okay, but he's my kid. But when Chad was born, it was 1994. Hell, I was making $400 or $500 grand a year. We recruited one of his classmates recently, a Caucasian. She's a white girl, okay? And it's part of the story though. And she said, well, Chad, we all knew you had money. We just thought your dad, you know, was a chemist. We had to figure something out. But she said, but we all knew that you had money, but you never act like you had money. But I always knew we had some money. And so she joined, you know, the business. Right? Well, she joined. And ain't seen her since. The numbers are the numbers. Even if they know, don't mean they're going to go do it. But let's talk about tying this together, and I'm going to shut up. I got plenty to say. I really do have plenty to say. This is all that I know. If you need this wall built and squared, I'm not the guy. Hell, you don't want me to build a wall. I'll get a checkbook and I'll participate on that capacity. Whenever my friends move, they ask you, Charles, you come help us move? Say, yep, I'll send you 2 laborers. What time you need them there? And I do. I'll pay for 4, 5, 6 hours. That's my kind. I'm not going to lift up. Yeah, I might be a dummy. Get a damn heart attack moving boxes for some dude that I don't live with. That made no sense at all. I had a lady that quit the business because I wouldn't come help her change her tire. Oh, shit, I swear to God, she quit. Called me one night, out night, and said, Charles, I got a flat. I said, well, you okay? Are you on the highway? If you're on the highway, I'm going to scoop you up, okay? I ain't going to change your tire, but I'll come scoop you up. No, I'm on the corner of this. That's okay. Well, you safe? I said, good. I said, I got a flat. I said, well, call AAA.
That's all you have.
That makes sense to me. Call AAA. She said, well, I don't have AAA. I said, well, I have AAA. She said, well, you going to help me change my tire? I said, no, honey. I just told you I have AAA. I'd be crazy to be over here changing your tire, the car fall on me, kill me, somebody hit me, and I die, making $1 million a year changing your damn tire. I'm not changing your tire. I don't change tires. I don't change my tire. I don't get on ladders and change light bulbs. Yeah, some dude fell off my roof the other day. I don't get on the damn roof. Some things I don't do. You know, we got wood and every on there and stuff. I don't go and clean that out. I hired a guy to do it. We got snakes too. I don't do that. I cherish my life. I don't know how much I got left. So she quit the business because I wouldn't change her tire. Do you know what happened that night? Still got paid $4,500. That's right. I'm going to write this down for y'all.
Every day.
Because I was coachable at how, I was coachable to the system and art. I studied my butt off and made myself worth more. I wasn't worth this when I started. I made myself worth this. I worked over time. I'm still working on today to get better. Because as long as if you ain't growing, you're dying. If you're not growing, you're dying. I don't know what y'all want out of life. I do know that there's no better place for us to go than here. Our community needs us.
That's right.
They need us in the life insurance business. I told you why that's important, because you need upfront capital. And we got to do in securities and annuity business, because they need us in the back end. When they're retiring, they're still living, they need money. We need to make sure we provide those services to people across the kitchen table. So we are the greatest company in the world. I'm going to ask you to do this favor for me. Okay? Y'all ready?
Yeah.
I'm learning to get better at this stuff. I want you to act like you put up and it was your last money. Act like this is what you paid to join Primerica. How hard would you work? How coachable would you be? Right? How many great questions would you ask? How many copious notes would you take? How many audio tapes would you listen to if you put up $100,000? But once you got it built, it'll pay you 6 figures for life. And once you dead and gone in your damn coffin, it'll start paying to your family. So you can build a legacy. I don't know where else to go. Because those of you that got one of them wonderful jobs, when you die, they send your wife or your husband, your kids, one more check. And it's over. That doesn't happen here. It pays forever. Not just for your life, it pays forever. Do you know why it's going to pay forever? Just like the people on Naked and Afraid, they figured out how to get together and make babies. And as long as men like women and women like men, they're going to keep making babies. And therefore, there's always going to be a need for Primerica. Thank you very much.
Whitner, guys. Hey, don't move, man. We got 2 more speakers, man. Power packed. I'm telling you, look, if you need any more paper, just go to the bathroom, get some paper towels or something. So you keep writing. Alright? Alright, guys, our next speaker we're going to bring to the stage, man, is going to bless us. You know, it's not very often that this guy talks, but when he talks, man, he packed a punch. And I call him the Godfather. Every time I see